The evolution of communication has brought us from simple face to face exchanges to complex global information networks, allowing ideas and information to flow across boundaries in an instant. In this history, models have become essential tools for conveying ideas in a way that is both clear and actionable. By breaking down complex topics into structured frameworks, models make it easier for people to understand and apply useful insights. Take, for example, the Eisenhower matrix. We briefly talked about it in class, but it's very important. It helps prioritize tasks by urgency and importance. Or, one of my favorites, the Kano model. This categorizes customer needs to drive product satisfaction. These models simplify decision making, especially in fields like manufacturing, where clarity and efficiency are key. With models, we can share insights quickly and effectively, improving processes and enabling better outcomes across various amounts of industries. Let's begin our exploration into my favorite models that I pulled up from the course by going back to one of our early models that we've seen. Here we have a model provided by uh, the professor, Hassan Rashidi, and it's a very simple uh, structure. It's a simple triangle that helps communicate three important aspects when it comes to manufacturing and assembly, as it comes from DFMA presentation. So, yes, it essentially puts three requirements that a manufacturer needs to have in mind, that their product or whatever they're providing has to address three main things, which is the quality of the product, how much the product cost, and the scheduling. How often can you make this, or how long does it take to make? Now, it's a very uh, simple simple structure, but it reminded me of something that someone who has experience in the work of trade, just whether it's remodeling, whether it be demolition, that there is trade-offs between these. In this model, we have something called an iron triangle of consumers, something that I, as work in that industry for some time, had gone to realize that quality is essentially how good a job is. Cheap is very direct to cost, and fast, the scheduling. But now, as a consumer, I think about if I want something quick and fast and cheap. This model here tells you what your outcome is going to be by the intersecting circles. If you want something cheap and fast, here it says it's going to take some time. If you want something good and cheap, it's probably going to be low quality. If you want something good and fast, you're probably going to put some money in it. Basically, uh, whatever isn't uh, considered the top two priorities, the other one's going to be lacking. And here it says if you want something that's all three, you wake up, and because that's not what reality is going to say to you. All right, for this next model, we'll be looking at a model that relates to learning and knowledge. The something that compares across time how much we know about a product and what we have to allocate. So, essentially, in the early states of product development, there's um, knowledge, costs, and degrees of freedom that we can have in our product. At the very beginning of our project, our knowledge about the final product is limited, especially when it comes to details or challenges or user specific requirements. This lack of knowledge, however, comes with a significant degree of freedom where we are allowed lots of things that we can incorporate as our final image isn't completely concrete. As the project progresses, however, this freedom gradually decreases. Each decision locks in certain aspects we have to do, but we gain user knowledge, we gain knowledge at a specific rate the more we go, and our money that we've invested also goes down. So there's a trade off between um, that is time dependent. That depends. There's a trade off between knowledge and cost as time goes on, as well as what we're allowed to do with our creativity when it comes to this product. So while I wanted to make an emphasis on models that we've talked about, something I want to talk about for this project, uh, wanted to talk about something that I found very interesting that I'd like to place in this project. Uh, which is lean manufacturing. Lean manufacturing is a philosophy focused around creating more value with fewer resources. The main focus is on reducing muda or reducing waste, something that we briefly talked about uh, in a class. Now, this approach places a strong emphasis on the customer, emphasizing that each step in what we do in manufacturing directly contributes to meeting their needs specifically, uh, with very little waste involved. The main advantages of this lean manufacturing is we know that's very customer centric, so that uh, the main emphasis that we're putting into our design, into our service, is directly giving value to the customer, leading to higher satisfaction. One of the main disadvantages, though, is that it's can be very hard to initiate to get that transition. Sometimes there has to require new tools or new capital to enforce that new standard. All right, let's return to models. So we briefly talked about the Eisenhower model or the Eisenhower matrix for delegating or addressing urgent or how to deal with the level of urgency and importance. So this matrix is a powerful time management tool that helps prioritize tasks with two key factors simply taking into account the urgency, how quick this needs to be done, and the importance, the significance of our tasks that we have at hand. So there are four quadrants. There are the, seen here, there are the urgent and important. There's the urgent but not important. Then there's important but not urgent. And then there's neither urgent or important. So the urgent and important, for example, includes tasks that require immediate attention. They're often, uh, given the context that it was made, political, there are often crises that need that they have pressing deadlines that need to be addressed. But this, in terms of manufacturing, helps us determine what needs to be done, whether it's a customer need or perhaps there was a consumer report and there's a toxic material that's located inside uh, your product. Say you're providing baby food and there's a ingredient that's harmful for newborns. That's something that would be of high importance, in my opinion, and that would need to be addressed as soon as possible. First action would be a recall. So if you haven't been keeping up with the series of videos that I've been producing, I am a great enjoyer of this Kano model. It's a great model that helps us distinguish, or helps companies distinguish and understand customer satisfaction. The three main categories that are focused on in the diagram are the basic needs, performance needs, and excitement needs. Put simply, the again, if you're not familiar with this, performance need is features that improve customer satisfaction in proportion with performance. Excitement needs are features that a user doesn't expect but bring delight when performed extremely well. You could say that one big disadvantage, though, is that this could put an emphasis, a company's emphasis, perhaps on, hey, we want more excitement in our products, and that could drive some creative decisions that might not be advisable.